Hello. Welcome to today's stream. Welcome. We started an hour earlier than usual. But I am very excited. And excited to see a lot of new people in chat today as well. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome. Please let me know if my audio is okay. Looks like my audio should be working fine. But let me know if I need to adjust anything. But hello. Welcome in. Welcome to episode 16 of my podcast, Heisei babtro. My photo is so cute. Thank you. Also, hello, Felix. Welcome in. Welcome. Alright, well, let's go ahead and get started. So welcome everyone to Heisei babtro, my podcast where we yap about our favorite media from Japan's Heisei era. The Heisei era spanned from 1989 to 2019, which is a super wide range of time, but in regards to pop culture, can be characterized by rapid technological advancements, the rising popularity of anime and Japanese video games both in Japan and overseas, and what many consider to be the golden age of places like Akihabara and Harajuku. Today, I am very excited to be joined by Rainbow to talk all about Haruhi Suzumiya, a very iconic, very beloved Heisei era anime series. Let me go ahead and welcome Bo into the stream. Hello. Are you ready?
Hello, yes I am.
Alright, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself to chat?
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm Bo, or Rainbow, spelled R41N83 for you. I am a moe mouse VTuber. I stream on Twitch, and I also make short form content on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, all under the same name.
Yippee. I actually found you originally on Instagram. You literally came up in my feed one day. I was like, I don't know who this person is, but I need to get to know you and maybe have you on my podcast. I was like, oh my gosh, your model is so cute.
Oh, thank you.
So today we are going to be talking, of course, about the melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, which I am very excited to talk about. I watched it for the first time a couple years ago, and I fell deeply in love. I was like, oh my gosh, Haruhi is me, kind of. She's just like me for real.
She is. She's so quintessential, like nerdy, but also just like I almost like strive to be like her because she's just so like confident in herself. I love her. Haruhi isn't me for real, but she's who I want to be for real, you know?
Honestly, yeah, same. The way I usually start these off, could you please introduce Haruhi to people in chat who maybe have never even heard of this series? How would you best, like, introduce Haruhi to someone?
Yeah. So the melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, or Suzumiya Haruhi no Yutsu, is an anime based off a light novel series. The anime was produced by Kyoto Animation. The light novel, I believe, was written by Naguru Tanigawa. Originally, I think the light novels came out in 2003, I want to say, and the anime adaptation, the first season came out in 2006. And Haruhi is this sort of science fiction romance moe show that was just so huge and so influential when it came out that it kind of shaped like modern otaku culture into like what it is today, because it was just so gargantuan and popular, right? But at its core, Haruhi is a very cute, very sweet, I would say, like science fiction romance series, and very moe.
Yeah. And I thought it was really interesting because, like, I was an anime fan, like, back in the early 2010s, and, like, I knew of Haruhi, but I didn't actually watch the anime until a couple of years ago, and I was kind of surprised by how sci-fi it was. Like, I kind of, in my mind, thought it was
Oh
going to be more
yeah.
of a slice of life, and it is, in some places, slice of life. But I was very surprised by some of the more sci-fi elements of it. I was like, whoa, this anime is so much cooler than I thought it was going to be.
I do
It's
get it.
a
I feel like
lot goes on in this
yeah,
anime.
I feel like Haruhi is one of those things where, especially these days, for some reason, even though I know exactly why this
Mhm.
happened, but despite it being so gargantuan and such like a phenomenon back in the day, it's kind of like fallen off. Like I don't think these
Yeah.
days, like if we talk about the popular quote unquote LARPer animes, there's like Lucky
Yeah.
Star, there's like K-On! And Nichijou, all Kyoto Animation, but Haruhi's not really one of them. And I think because of that, people can like go into Haruhi these days not knowing what it is, which I think is crazy because it was such a
Yeah.
phenomenon, right?
Yeah, it's so strange. Like, because I would kind of put it in my head in the same genre as, like, like you said, K-On!, Lucky Star, what am I thinking of? Crap. There's another anime, there's another slice of life anime from the 2000s. I can't remember its name right now. But, like, so that vibe is what I went into. And it was completely different than what I was expecting. In a good way, but I was like,
Yeah.
man, why are people not talking about it as much anymore? It's kind of sad.
Yeah, I know why people don't talk about it,
Mm.
but maybe that's something we covered later.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely,
um
definitely. Also, Ashbury, welcome in. Welcome, welcome.
um Can I ask if you watched it in chronological order or broadcast order?
I I was actually thinking about this earlier today. I was like, wait, what order did I watch it? I watched it on Crunchyroll in the order
Oh,
Crunchyroll had it listed. I think that's
mm,
chronological order. I'm pretty sure.
it is like so for people who don't know,
Yeah.
Haruhi actually I think really it's got like four different orders at this point.
Yeah.
But like when it was originally broadcasting on television, um they aired it in a quote unquote like broadcast order, where the episodes like take place like like out of chronological order. So like you watch the first couple of episodes and then suddenly just like new characters show up and you're like, who's this guy? Like I recently rewatched Haruhi in broadcast order.
Mm.
And you're watching it like, it starts with episode 00, of course, but then there's episode 1 and 2. And then episode 3 comes out, and I think episode 3 might be the one where they play baseball, and it introduces
Yeah.
like Itsuki Koizumi, and you're like, who's this guy? Who are all these people? But I think one of the major reason why they did that is because it was based off of light novels, right?
Yeah.
In the first light novel, like literally called The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, is kind of like a bottle story. Like it has a beginning, middle, and an end. And then the next like two novels are like kind of like they have like little tiny arcs in them. Well, the second novel is the Sigh, but the third novel is the Boredom, which is a bunch of like little tiny short stories. So I think it's actually kind of smart because like if you're adapting the light novel, you kind of want there to be like a climax of your anime. So what they did was they kind of like interspersed this first novel among all of these filler arcs that happen later in the novels. So when you're watching it in broadcast order, um, it does feel like there's a beginning, middle, and end of the show. And if you watch it in chronological order, like the order where these events actually take place in the show, um, you all of the interesting stuff happens at the very, very beginning, and then it's all just filler.
Yeah.
And it's wild. I think if you watch it in chronological order, because I also watched it on Crunchyroll. I just had to like
Mhm.
look up a list of the order I was supposed to
Yeah.
watch it in. Um, and Crunchyroll intermingles season 2
It
with season
does.
1.
It
Yeah,
does.
That's crazy.
It's so
And
weird.
it's so weird. So you're getting like completely different kinds of animation too, because one was in 2006 and one was in 2009. And you also end with like Someday in the Rain, the episode where Yuki Nagato reads a book for 15 minutes.
Yeah, that was such a
Um,
weird way to end it. I was like, huh, this is very artistic, very cool, but also what?
I think they ran out of money. They actually
Yeah.
make a joke about it in Lucky Star. There's an episode where Konata watches Haruhi and she's like, "Wow, I guess they ran out of money for this episode, huh?"
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I think it's so cool. I really want to go back and rewatch it in broadcast order at some point. I've been meaning to do that for a while because it was interesting in chronological order, but I was like, this feels like a very deeply, distinctly different experience than what you would get watching it in broadcast order. You know, it's very
Yeah.
different vibe.
I definitely think it's best in broadcast order because there are some weird things about it, but I also think Haruhi is such a weird show. I did kind of describe it as science fiction, but I guess I didn't really say like we didn't really talk about what it's actually
Yeah.
about. um, but Haruhi is essentially a show about this main character Haruhi Suzumiya told from the perspective of a different character named Kyon, and he's just like a normal high school student. He's like, man, I'm an adult now. I don't like this kid stuff, like, you know, action, adventure, aliens, time travelers, and espers. I liked that stuff when I was in middle school, but I'm a high school student now. So he goes to high school, and the very first day of school, this beautiful girl stands up, and she's like, my name is Haruhi Suzumiya, and I love aliens, time travelers, and espers, and everything science fiction. If you are not an alien, I don't want to talk to you. I hate you if you're not an alien.
So valid, honestly.
So valid. She stands up, announces that, and she winds up, you know, sitting next to Kyon, and Kyon is just sort of drawn to her because she's just so like exuberant and confident in herself, but she's also just like she just like hates everybody, and I think it's so funny. But through meeting up with Haruhi, she decides to start like a club that's the SOS Brigade, this saving the world by overloading it with fun, Haruhi Suzumiya Brigade, where she's essentially like looking for these aliens, time travelers, and espers, but really it's just a club for them to hang out. And she like kidnaps like 3 other people to be members in the club with her. And eventually Kyon finds out that all of these other members of the club, one is an alien, one is a time traveler, one is an esper, and Haruhi Suzumiya herself is like a godlike entity who has changed the world to fit her image. She has like fundamentally reshaped it to make aliens, time travelers, and espers and have them circle around her. And the show is all about like dealing with the repercussions of that, and Haruhi doesn't know she's a god. They have to or this powerful entity, they have to like keep her happy so she doesn't destroy the world, and they get into all sorts of fun little adventures.
Yeah, it's such a wild experience. Like, I feel like that's a great way to describe it, but I feel like you don't fully understand what Haruhi is about unless you watch it yourself, because it's a wild ride. There's a lot of strange and hilarious and very interesting things that happen in this show.
Yeah, it's so funny. And when you're watching it in this broadcast order, right? I think like you start off with the movie, the episode 00, the adventures of Mikuro Asahina, and that's so funny. It's such a great beginning.
Such a good episode. I got so excited when I found out that was the the broadcast order opening. I was like, really? That's the first episode? 'Cause that's like my favorite one. That episode was so funny. It's so good.
It's just like a cold opening where like you find out later that they recorded this home movie, but the very first episode is like their home movie. So it's like edited like teenagers made
Mhm.
it. There's a horrible like graphic effects. Everybody is acting in a terrible way. It's so funny. And
It's
just
so
imagine that
good.
airing at like 2 in the morning and these people in Japan being like, "What on earth is this?"
I like Haruhi just that the anime makes such bold choices, and like an anime like it would not come out today. Like I don't
Oh,
think
100%.
anyone would be willing to like go the level that they went with making Haruhi.
Yeah, it's like a comedy series and like a romance series, but it's also just so deeply weird in like Dempa Otaku core.
Yeah.
That's just like it's just so fun. It's so like of the era. You're right. I definitely think something like that could not be made today. I think everything is so like corporate now that I
Yeah.
don't think that like this weird show could come out. But
Uh,
I think sorry. Um to
go
like
ahead.
build off of what we were talking about, I think when you're watching it in broadcast order too, it starts out with that weird home movie. Then there's like I think like 2 normal episodes or
Mhm.
something. And I have to look it up, but like I'm pretty sure like the baseball episode where like how do he really wants to win this baseball tournament, right? So, because she wants to win it, she like fundamentally changes the rules of the game and she makes like a super powered bat and like everybody like is performing like super well and stuff. I think that episode airs before the episode where you find out that she's like a god. So again, if you're
I
watching it in
love
broadcast
that.
order, you're like, what's going on? I have to look up broadcast order real quick.
Yeah.
But it's so funny. And I do think it was worth it because it's just it has that natural climax with that the end of the melancholy arc where they go into that closed space and stuff. I
Mhm.
think it's a really natural ending for it.
Yeah, like it was interesting watching it in chronological order because it really did like that, but that end of the main arc really does feel like a final episode. So having that happen so
Yeah.
early, I was like, this feels wrong.
You're like, what's going
This
on? It's
feels
episode like
strange.
6.
Yeah. I was like, what more can they do with this? And obviously, got a lot of slice of life and really funny one-off episodes.
Yeah,
Like the
that's exactly it. It's
tone
like
really shifts after that point.
it's so funny. Um I think there's something to be said about watching it in chronological order, but man, I definitely think to get the full experience,
Yeah.
you gotta do broadcast. I feel like back in the day there was like you called broadcast order like Hyun's order and the other one like Haruhi's order, but I don't
Hmm.
remember which one is which. That was like way back in
Interesting.
the day. Because oh, can I ask like how you like got into Haruhi? Like how you wound up watching it for the first time?
Hmm. Um, I think, I'm trying to remember now. I'm pretty sure, because it's always been an anime that I meant to watch. Like, I have an endless list of anime that I need to watch before I die, and I feel like I'm never gonna get through all of them. But
Oh, mood.
that one was one that I really wanted to know. Because, like, obviously, nowadays, it's not that popular. But I knew, back when I got into anime, when I was a younger teen, Haruki was everywhere. And, like, anytime, like, she was, like, up there on the same level as, like, Konata from Lucky Stars, like, the representative otaku character. So, like, I had her just, like, living in my mind for so many years. It's like, I need to know. I need to know about her. I need to stop LARPing. LARPing wasn't even a thing yet then. That wasn't even a term. I was like, man, I feel like a fake fan. I need to know her. I need to understand. And I'm glad I
I need to
did.
understand.
I'm so
Yeah,
glad I did. It's such a fun anime.
it is so fun, and I do feel like it's required reading. Man, you mentioned
Yeah.
Konata. It makes me
Hmm.
so mad when people like have watched Lucky Star and they haven't watched Haruhi, because Lucky Star is
Oh,
literally one
yeah.
giant advertisement for
It
Haruhi.
really is.
I I don't know how you understand any of the jokes in that show if you haven't seen
I
Haruhi.
really need to rewatch Lucky Star now because I watched that as a teenager. Like it's gonna be a completely different experience. I think now.
Yeah, I know there's there's cute slice of life elements of Lucky Star, but literally Konata has Haruhi's same voice actress in English and
Yeah,
Japanese. Like they went the extra mile when dubbing it,
that's
and
so
like the whole
cool. They were able to do that.
yeah, and the whole like Lucky Channel segments at the end,
Mm.
the male side host is Minoru Shiraishi, who was like a big meme at the time because people made like a bunch of like MADs of his character in Haruhi. He voiced like a background character like
Mm.
Taniguchi. And he like had like 4 lines in it, but because like people were so obsessed with Haruhi, every single background character was like a major character despite them only having like 4 lines. So he was such a big meme that they referenced it in Lucky Star
Oh
by
my
making the
gosh.
voice actor a literal character. He's not Minoru Shiraishi isn't playing a character. Minoru Shiraishi is playing Minoru Shiraishi in Lucky Star.
That is so funny. Oh my gosh.
It's so funny. But like Haruhi was so big that like even I think Taniguchi, like this character had like 4 lines in the main show, and like I think he got like a character song. I have to look it up. Hang on.
Oh my gosh. Back in the good old days of character songs.
I know he did. I was right. They gave this guy with like 2 lines a full character song. They I mean, I do love character songs, but every single character in Haruhi got like a full disc release of
Oh my
like they got like
gosh.
an original song and then they got their own cover of the Hare Hare Yukai. Everybody got their own spin on the Hare Hare Yukai.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So like the main 3 girls, Haruhi, Mikuru, and Yuki,
Mhm.
they're all singing like the classic Hare Hare Yukai that you hear in the
Yeah.
ending. But then they get a version where they're singing by themselves, and like all of the other characters, like Hyun gets a version of the Hare Hare Yukai where he's like, it's like an acoustic guitar, and he's like singing along, like drawling to it. Itsuki Koizumi has a version of it where it's like a like kind of jazzy and there's like a saxophone and
Oh
it's
my gosh.
slow, and every single character gets their own version of that song.
That's incredible. I love that. I need to go look these up later now.
They're so good. They're honestly like good songs too, like all their character songs.
Mhm.
Like I really like Yuki's character song that I feel like it's definitely in a couple of Nico Nico Doga medleys. But
Mm.
I'm a larper. What is it called? Yuki Mion Madobunite is a really great character song from her first album. Because they had one for season 1 and season 2. I do miss character songs. Haruhi was just
Yeah.
such a phenomenon, and people were so hungry for it that they did all sorts of funny things. Like they did these character songs. They literally made Lucky Star. They have you ever seen the Melancholy of Haruhi-chan, Suzumiya?
I have not.
That one is it is I'm pretty sure it is by Kyoto Animation, but they're like 5-minute webisodes that was based on a parody manga written by Puyo. And they're these 5-minute little webisodes that aired between season 1 and season 2 that are all like, they're comedy based, they're funny, they're like a combination of 2D and 3D. But yeah, it was just more cute content featuring these characters.
That's awesome. I just love when like a series is so loved that like they just keep having to like make content. Not even like doesn't feel like money hungry. It feels like we're just feeding the fans what will make them happy.
Yeah, it
More like
definitely does
fan
feel like that.
focused rather than like money focused.
Yeah, and people like ate it up. I don't think Haruhi-chan is on Crunchyroll because I was doing my
Mm.
rewatch recently, and like I was showing somebody who's never seen Haruhi before, and I was like, okay, between season 1 and season 2, we have to watch Haruhi-chan, but it's not on Crunchyroll, and like I couldn't like find it anywhere. I think there's
Man.
like a couple of episodes on like YouTube, but I think
Mm.
other than that, it's just like really hard to find. And that's so sad because I think it's a
Yeah.
really cute, very cute little OVA series.
I know it sucks when like there's an especially older anime when they're not on streaming anymore. Like how do I watch this? I want to support to this older series. Let me support you,
I
but it's not
know.
available anywhere.
I want to support you. And you also keep taking down all of these like sites where I
Yeah.
can watch it. So I'm like, what do you want me to do,
Yeah.
man? I have Haruhi-chan on DVD, so I can watch it. But
Heck yeah.
I have all of the Haruhi things on DVD, and it's like one of those like not necessarily lost media sort of things, but they don't
Mm.
make these DVDs anymore. They're in a limited quantity. So
Ah.
I remember like looking up the price of Haruhi DVDs the other day, and it was like my box set is like $300 or
Oh
something,
my
and I'm like, oh my
gosh.
god, that's crazy. Now I'm curious. I'm like, I also have a Lucky Star DVD. That's the one people actually LARP. What could I sell this for?
Oh man.
Oh, they released it. All right, fine.
Mm.
They don't re-release Haruhi though because they hate me. Oh, I lied. I guess they did re-release it, but it has this ugly packaging. That's also another thing. Back in the day, these because like why would you buy anime DVDs, right? When you can watch it online. So they had to make these huge elaborate box sets that are like gorgeous and they came with like little pamphlets and character art and stuff like that. Haruhi's was like that. Um it's like gigantic. It's a gigantic box set.
Oh my gosh, Reaper, thank you for the 2 months. Thank you, thank you. My gosh. Alright, wait. Something I need to ask you. I'm sure you have lots of thoughts on it.
Yeah.
We have to address
The elephant.
Endless 8.
The endless elephant in the room.
The endless
I get
elephant
it.
in the room.
So I got into Haruhi before season 2 aired because
Oh my gosh.
I'm
So
a
you
real
were there
old
when it
gen.
happened. Let's go.
I was there. I was on the ground floor. So I got into Haruhi probably like 2 months before season 2 aired. So I watched season 2 as it was airing. And so season 1 of Haruhi, pretty normal anime, very cute. Kind of weird in some respects, but like overall it's like a normal anime. Season 2 of Haruhi opens up with the Bamboo Leaf Rhapsody, normal episode. Episode 2 is called The Endless 8, part 1. And you watch it, and it's about their summer vacation, and it ends with Haruhi not being totally satisfied with her summer vacation, but Kyon kind of brushes it off, and the episode ends. Episode 3 of season 2 is called The Endless 8, part 2. And it's about summer vacation. They have a cute summer vacation, and you find out throughout the episode that they are stuck in this time loop, and they are constantly repeating the month of August. That's why it's called the Endless 8, because they're repeating August. And they don't know how to break it, and the episode ends with them not figuring it out, and Kyon being like, whatever, we'll figure it out. And then episode 3 airs, and they're in this time loop. Episode 4, 5, 6 air, and they're just in this time loop. And I cannot stress enough that it is the exact same episode 8 times in a
It
row.
is
Um,
so funny.
it the animation is totally different in every single episode, and the voice performances is totally reperformed for every single episode. They are in different outfits, they have different shots, but the beat by beat lines of the episode are all exactly the same for 8 whole episodes. Again, I was showing this new person who is I was showing Haruhi to them for the first time, and I was talking to them like, okay, we're going into the Endless 8 now. It's 8 episodes. And they like didn't believe me. They were like, okay, whatever. 8 episodes, they're in a time loop. I get it. And then by episode 4, they were like, oh my God, you were right. It's the same episode 8 times in a row.
I was watching it with my sibling, and I knew Endless Eight. I knew I was getting myself into. I kind of let them know what they should be expecting, but we were still like, yeah, let's watch this. They were like, what is happening? Like I was vibing. I was enjoying the heck out of it. I thought it was so funny, and they were like, oh my God, is it over yet? Oh my God, is it over yet? Like, nope, 3 more episodes.
It's so crazy. And it's doubly like, it's almost like insulting in the sense that like it's like summer vacation and you see them doing like a bunch of fun things. Like they go see fireworks, they like go bug catching, they go swimming. Um and then there's like a montage of like a bunch of other stuff that they do. So you'd think like, oh, maybe this episode would focus a little more on the swimming. Maybe this episode would focus more on the bug catching. No, it's
No.
exactly the same thing every single time. The montage is exactly the same. The things they choose to focus on, it's exactly the same for 8 episodes. And I was there on the ground floor when it was airing. The copium that everybody would post about every single week was like, well, like the first time it happened, it's like, oh, cute, it's a time loop. This will probably be resolved by the next episode. And then the next episode aired, and they still hadn't solved it. And this went on for like 8 weeks. And I think by week 4, people were like, oh no, it's called the Endless 8. There's gonna be 8 episodes of this, isn't there? And it was crazy. And in my opinion, the reason why Haruhi isn't like as popular as Lucky Star and K-On! And these other giants is because the Endless 8, people were going into season 2 of Haruhi so excited. They couldn't keep up with the demand. They made webisodes, they made character songs, there were so many art books. Everybody was so hungry for Haruhi, and everybody was so excited. And then the Endless 8 came out, and people were like insulted. People were like, I was so excited for this to air, and it's 8 episodes of the same thing. How could you do this? How could you do this to us when we were so excited for this? And I think it just sort of like killed all of the goodwill that Haruhi Suzumiya had. And I don't think it's ever recovered from that.
Yeah, that's so sad. Like, I understand. I think if I was there experiencing Endless 8 as it aired, I would also been pretty upset. But I think because I had respect it, I'm looking back on it and like watching it now, like this is funny. Like I know why you're mad, but this is funny.
Well, I was like so into it, right? That like I'd like rewatch these episodes hoping for some sort of clue. It was based on the light novel, right? And I did read the light novels, and the light novel chapter is like, it's like one chapter and it's resolved immediately. So I knew what the answer was already, but I was like, there's no way it's going to be the same answer if they're making 8 whole episodes out of it. They've got to like change it somehow. I got to rewatch it. I got to look for these hints. So I probably, as the Endless 8 was airing, I probably watched every episode like 2 to 3 times. So I probably watched the Endless 8, like 21 times, like
Oh my
over and over and over again. And it got to the point where like, even as I was like rewatching it for this time, I my favorite character in Haruhi when I was younger was Itsuki Koizumi, because I was a little
Mhm.
like baby Fujo. Um, and like I could like be like, this is the episode where Itsuki Koizumi wears a cute little purple scarf. This is the episode where he wears a speedo. This is the episode where he grabs Kyon and gets really close to his face. And like I could remember, I can be like, he wears the little ascot thing in like the third Endless Eight episode. He wears the speedo in the fifth Endless Eight episode. Like as I was rewatching it, I was like, I can't believe I know this information. That it's still there in the back of my mind. It's so funny that they literally have completely different outfits for every single episode that they're in.
Yeah. And like the animation is slightly different in every episode. Like, remember, because my sibling who I was watching it
Yeah.
with, they're really into animation, so they were like, wow, this one episode was animated terribly. Like, man, they ran out of budget for this one. I was like, cool.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
remember
totally
there's one
reanimated
where
for
there's
each one. I'm like, that's a choice.
why would they do that? There's that episode where there's like that plane motif that they keep like
Mhm.
looking up to the sky and there's a plane and they focus
Yeah.
on the plane for like 3 minutes. And I'm like, what's happening? What does this plane represent? What's going on? What's the symbolic meaning of this plane? The symbolic meaning is that they ran out of money.
Yeah.
But that shattered so much goodwill. And I was talking about the Minoru Shiraishi thing before, right?
Mhm.
This guy was like a huge meme. And people loved him. And the next, I think how it goes off the top of my head, this could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the Haruhi season 2 aired. Then I think like K-On season 2 might have aired after it. But after that aired, they made Nichijou, and I think Nichijou is like a modern classic. I think everybody loves
Yeah.
Nichijou. Yeah, I love Nichijou. It's one of my favorites. But when Nichijou came out, people hated it. And I think people hated it because number one, it like wasn't very moe. It like looked a little bit weird. But I think another reason why people didn't like it is they were still so mad at Kyoto Animation for the Endless Eight. And in addition, one of the characters in Nichijou is voiced by Minoru Shiraishi, and he's a big character. The cat Sakamoto
Oh.
is voiced by him, and he got that role because he was a big meme. So a lot of people kind of looked at this, and it's like, you're still trying to appeal to us like people who like on Niku Niku Doga and like 2chan and stuff like that, who made your show so huge. You're still trying to appeal to us by putting in this meme guy. You're still doing that even after what you pulled with the Endless Eight. And I think people were so mad about it that Nichijou did not take off. Nichijou was not well received when it came out.
That's honestly
But I think
really
people have just
sad.
yeah. I think luckily that's like faded with time. I think like a lot of people don't like know that, but that is like one of the major factors why Nichijou was a little bit of like the black sheep and didn't perform well. I think it's definitely gotten like a cult following these days, and I think it's one of Kyoto Animation's most like respected works.
Yeah.
But when
And
it
I
came
only
out,
hear good things about it nowadays.
it's great. I think it's lovely, and they just kind of made that spiritual successor series too. But yeah, at the time, people like refused to buy it because it was all because of the Endless Eight, man.
Man.
I now I love Haruhi, but I do think if you are trying to get into Haruhi, I think you should watch the first episode of the Endless Eight, the second one, where they actually discover that they're in the time loop, and then the last one. I don't
Yeah.
think like you actually have to watch all 8 episodes.
Yeah, only watch all 8 if you're insane, like I am. I was like, I
Yeah.
have to. I can't not watch all 8 episodes. I had to do it.
It is a rite of passage. It's like,
It
I
really
have to do
is.
this.
Like, can you really call yourself a Haruhi fan if you haven't put yourself through all 8 episodes?
Right? like I have to see what cute outfits they're wearing in each episode.
Yeah.
Every single one, they have different swimsuits. They have different festival outfits because they go to like a fireworks festival. Every single one is different.
And I think it's really funny because, like, just watching, like, the first one, like, it's a good episode. Like, it's a well-written, well-structured episode. It's just the fact that they had to do it 8 times in a row. Like, if you could look past that, it's like, it's good. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I do think it's like good and interesting. And I do think if it had been 3 episodes, it would have been like well remembered and cute.
Yeah.
But the fact that it was like 8, and again, that's like 8 weeks when I was on the ground floor, right? And when you're like into something like that, hype dies just so fast, especially when you were looking forward to it for some people were looking forward to it for like 3 years, right? So I
Yeah.
can deeply understand why people were upset about
And
it.
8 episodes, that's like the bulk of the season. Like,
Yeah.
majority of the season is just Endless 8. So I can totally empathize people who were really excited only to get, like, only a few real episodes.
Yeah, there's the Bamboo Leaf Rhapsody, then the Endless 8, and then it's the entirety of the Sai of Haruhi Suzumiya, which is the
Yeah.
second light novel where they're making the movie.
Mhm.
And that's it. That's the whole season
Yeah.
2. So the first season had like short stories up until like I think like the 6th Haruhi novel. But yeah, season 2 is just very it was those 2 things. It was Endless 8 and Sai. It's also like so funny because like, you know, in traditional like Japanese company style, these people like had to like deeply apologize to like the fan base and stuff like that. But I think the funniest thing about the Endless 8 is nobody in Kyoto Animation can tell you why they did it. They were just like, seemed like a good idea at the time. I don't know. And I'm
I
like,
would
whose
love
idea was this?
to, like, know what those meetings looked like when they were, like, planning Endless
Right?
8. Like, how would... I can't imagine everyone collectively agreed this was a good idea. Gotta have been at least one guy
Right?
who's like, are you sure? Are you sure?
Are you sure you want to do this? I'm surprised that like it just like went through all of these people because so many people are required to make anime
Yeah.
and nobody was like, this isn't a good idea. Nobody?
Like, it's such a choice, because, like, they reanimated every episode, they re-voice acted every episode, like, everything they did again and again and again. It must have been, honestly, I feel like everyone was probably a little bit annoyed.
Oh yeah. I know there was like
It was
interviews
not
at the
just the
time.
fans who were annoyed,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
There was definitely interviews for the voice actors at the time where they asked about it, and that's when they like confirmed, like, yeah, they made us re-record everything, and we're all just sitting here like, why? Why are they? Why are they doing this? Like the Japanese voice actors were doing that. That was this was back in the day when you could like on these big box sets they had like blooper reels and stuff for English voice actors too.
Oh, yeah.
And like half of these these bloopers were just like them making fun of the Endless 8 like over and over again.
Yeah.
But
so valid.
so valid for real. The copium at the time, and I think like even now, was like the reason why they did this is because the time loop canonically lasts like 15,000 years or something like that. And
But-
nobody knows that they're in a time loop except for one character, Yuki Nagato, the alien. And Yuki, the thought process is like Yuki doesn't show any emotion. She is like kudere to the max. She like is fully an alien, doesn't have like any real personality. But like, you know, Kyon keeps looking over to Yuki during this time loop and she just looks sad. She's staring into the middle distance. She looks miserable. And then the disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya movie comes out a couple of years later. And that movie involves Yuki kind of like breaking from her role as like an observer of Haruhi, and she gets so sick of Haruhi's antics where she also has a crazy amount of power too. She like remakes the world so Haruhi is not God anymore. Haruhi is normal, and it is like there for like a normal world. And so Yuki, instead of being like this personality-less alien, is like a cute kudere in the literature club. She's like shy and blushy and moe, and everybody else is like normal. The time traveler isn't from the future. The Esper like goes to a different school with Haruhi. And the thought process is like, we want you to be as miserable as Yuki is so you can understand why she would do this, why she would remake the world. That was kind of the fan theory, but these actual interviews with like these producers and stuff, they're just like, I don't know why we did it. Seemed like a good idea at the time.
My gosh. I'm honestly curious now, though. How was the movie received at the time? Since fans were so upset after Endless 8. What was that like?
I remember watching the movie via like cam rip. Like somebody like recorded it and then crazy people online subtitled the recording.
My gosh.
The movie
Gotta love a good cam rip.
Right? Oh my gosh. It was well received. The movie, I think, is very good. It's like a great, great movie. It's also like 3 hours long.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy. And it was well received, but the Endless 8 was like so destructive. People were out here like burning their Haruhi figurines.
Yeah, I heard about that. Like, my gosh, honestly, I'll never be able to relate to that. Like, I can relate to getting upset with a show I like for making a choice that I don't like, maybe not being a fan anymore, but the people burning their merch, like, that's a bit extreme.
I know. You spend money on that, man.
At least donate it or resell it. Like, don't destroy it, my god.
Yeah, for sure. So I remember that it like was like critically well received. Especially like these days I think people say like, oh, it's like definitely like a masterpiece and stuff like that. And I do think it did like pretty decently well at the box office. But I think that it could have been huge if the Endless 8 didn't come out.
Yeah.
So it was moderately well received. I don't remember if The Disappearance came out or if Nichijou came out. I think The Disappearance came out first and then Nichijou. I do think The Disappearance helped sort of like quote unquote redeem Haruhi in the eyes of some people, but I don't think anything they could have done was enough. I do think The Disappearance is a masterpiece, and it's probably the best that they could have done, but it still was not enough to redeem what they did with the Endless 8.
Yeah. Honestly, such a shame.
It is such a shame. And I truly blame the Endless 8 for like why Haruhi is no longer a phenomenon, why it is like not like one of the major LARP shows. You can also chalk it up to the fact that like, you know, Konata is a cutie moe blob with blue hair, and Haruhi is like, Haruhi kind of looks normal, but like I think it's because of the Endless 8.
Yeah, that makes sense. But it is strange, since like you said, Lucky Star was made to be like so like connected to Haruhi. That people watching it and not even knowing about Haruhi is strange.
It's so strange. I'm like, I don't want to call people like posers, but I'm like, have you watched it? If you've watched it, can you give me like a 5-paragraph essay about like what this joke is? Because I don't think you can get it if you haven't watched Haruhi. But Lots of jokes in Lucky Star like that. There's so many references to
Yeah.
like anime and video games that were popular at the time. It's such a time capsule.
It's definitely like an otaku anime. Like you had to at
Yeah.
least have baseline knowledge of what being an anime fan back then was like in order to fully understand
Mhm.
it.
Yeah, you gotta. And I do think it's worth watching these days. And there's also some elements of, Lucky Star that I think um are removed from the otaku-ness, and like
Hmm.
you don't have to be like super familiar with otaku culture, but most of the humor is derived from it. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
guys, explain what the Lucky Star channel is if you don't know what Haruhi is. Oh, I'm reading your chat too, and somebody mentioned the
Mhm.
disappearance again, and that did remind me that uh, there was an anime that was produced a couple of years ago now, not by Kyoto Animation, called I think it's called The Disappearance of Nagato
Oh
Yuki-chan,
yeah, I heard about
and
that one.
yeah, not by Kyoto Animation, but it takes place entirely within that disappearance universe where everybody is normal. Um, that was also based on a similar manga by Puyo, the same mangaka who did
Mhm.
the parody manga. Yeah, Haruhi-chan. Um, that's not. I haven't watched that one. I don't know if you've watched it, but
Yeah,
um,
I've thought about watching it, but since it's not by Kyoto Animation, it's like, is it canon? Is this required? Is it like something that I'll get something out
yeah,
of, or is it kind of a money grab type thing?
yeah. It's definitely not as beautiful. I can tell you that.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
and my whole thing is the disappearance universe is like people like really really liked it, and like I get it, but the fact that like it's no longer science fiction, like because it's taking place
Yeah.
in this normal world, it is just a slice of life comedy series, and I'm like, it kind of, I think, detracts from what like makes Haruhi.
Yeah. Like you kind of
So
need the sci-fi weirdness for it to
yeah,
like feel right.
exactly, and like
Otherwise,
the
it's
whole
just a generic slice of life. It's not Haruhi anymore.
exactly, yeah, and like the disappearance movie is so beautiful, and it's so sad because these characters are honestly like Yuki, especially, she's just so much more happy without
Mm.
Haruhi being in the picture. um and it's like a little bit of a tragedy that Kyon chooses to like go back to the other universe. So like this manga almost kind of like offends me because it's like um it kind of like invalidates the sacrifice that everybody had to make by
Mm.
giving them this like cute little slice of life series. Um that's just me though.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's cute elements in it, but it's it's just not weird enough. Where's my aliens? Where's my time travelers?
Yeah. Something I wanted to talk about a bit more, since we talked about Endless Eight and kind of the downfall of Haruhi. But if you want to take a little bit of a backtrack into the height of Haruhi, and so I know obviously it was like a huge otaku cultural phenomenon. Like there was even like a fake religion around it, Haruhiism. I'd love to hear more
Yeah.
about like that time.
Oh my gosh. I was like, a kid when this was airing, but I had like my religion on like Facebook set to Haruhiism.
Oh
I
my
was
gosh, I
like
love
that big
that.
into it. Yeah. It was so popular. I think because of how weird it was, how otaku core it was. Um there was especially that the ending sequence to Haruhi Suzumiya, the Hare Hare Yukai, the dance
Yes,
sequence.
it's so iconic.
So iconic and so popular at like anime conventions and stuff. Everybody would learn how to do the dance. I of course know how to do the dance. I remember um they had to they had to like enact like no dancing in the hallway rules at anime
Oh
conventions
my
because so many
gosh.
people were. This was also, yeah, it was contemporary to like the caramel dancing and
Oh
stuff too.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, so a bunch of people were doing the caramel dancing and like these hara yukai flash mobs at anime cons, and they had to be like, no, get out of the way, you're blocking the hallway. Um, but I think Haruhi just strikes that perfect balance between like otaku core and like just like moe, but also like appealing to a wider demographic. I think that's one of the big reasons why it was able to take off so hugely, was because like not only do you have these three cute characters that are super moe, that like there's a genki one, there's like a shy one, there's a like a kudere one. Haruhi, of course, like she dresses up in bunny girl outfits, and Mikuru is like in a maid outfit, so like that appeals to hardcore otaku too. But also you have these pretty like cute male characters too, in form
Yeah.
of like Itsuki and Kyon, and I think that also winds up attracting a female audience too. So everybody was into this, right? I remember there was an officially licensed doujinshi collection that was uh like they literally commissioned doujin artists who drew Itsuki and Kyon doujin. They commissioned them to draw officially licensed doujinshi, and they released that like officially
Oh my
to
gosh.
like appeal to, and they released it in English. I have it.
Oh
Um
really? That's crazy.
yeah, but it was so crazy because it was like, oh my gosh, I recognize these doujin artists, and they are like official. This is like an official collection, and it's released in English, and I have it in my hands. But that just goes to show you like that this appealed to everyone. It appealed
Yeah.
to people who were into the moe stuff. It appealed to people who were into like almost like a romance, like, you know, these romance shoujo people. It appealed to fujos. It appealed to everybody. It had such mass appeal. The characters were so cute. The animation was so good. There was also just so many references in it to both otaku things and like western science fiction too, that I think it just was able to bridge the gap between both Japanese like and American fans too.
Yeah, I love that. I love when an anime can like really just appeal to everyone. Like all different kinds
Yeah.
of fans. I feel like
Yeah.
I don't know how to word this. I had a thought, but it kind of died. I was like, I feel like it's not as much about universal appeal anime as
Mhm.
there was in the past. I feel like back in
I
the day,
know.
everyone would like circulate around like the same few anime. Like these are the anime for everyone. And nowadays, like, even
Right.
if there's too many, there's so many anime that come out every year that it's
Yeah.
harder to have
That's
like
what I
an
was.
anime that unifies everyone.
Yeah, yeah. You worded it so well. I think that like I'm glad that anime has gotten bigger over the years, but like you said, there's just so many now that like everybody likes different stuff. Like I went to
Yeah.
an anime con recently, and I'm looking at all of these like, you know, the artist alley, and I'm just like, man, I like don't recognize half of the anime characters that these people are selling, because there's just so many. And also because of that, I like anime cons and stuff like that way back in the day, when people were getting yelled at for doing the caramel dansen on the floor, right? Because there was so few anime, you could go to an anime con and you were pretty confident that everybody there liked the same things as you,
Yeah.
because there was only like a handful of popular anime, right? But these days you go to an anime con and it's almost like it's definitely missing that like community aspect to it, I would say,
Oh
because like
yeah.
so many people like so many different things. You don't know if the person you're talking to is into shoujo or like shonen or whatever. Meanwhile, back in the day, you're like, well, everybody watches haruhi, so I can like communicate. I can like, you know, make friends with you because, you know, we all like the same thing, you know?
Yeah. It's such a different vibe, I think. Especially
Mhm.
post 2020 when anime became more of a mainstream. gets harder to unify anime fans when there's so many different kinds of people getting into anime.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm grateful for it.
Oh
I
yeah,
think it's like
same.
really cool to see, but I'm also very nostalgic for that time period. It's also like because there was like so few gigantic anime, even like in Japan at this point, like Haruhi got so big on like these video sharing platforms like Nico Nico Doga and like 2chan and like image boards and stuff. There was so many like, MADs and stuff like that it sort of like kickstarted this like that sort of like Nico Nico Doga like YouTube poop-ish like MAD culture at the time too, like AMV culture even over here.
Yeah.
And it was like so popular, such like a big thing. And I'm like, I also feel like you don't see like AMVs and stuff made to the extent. I did like go to that anime con
Yeah.
and I did see that they had like an AMV like contest, but I'm like, I
Mhm.
can't remember the last time I watched an AMV, you know?
Yeah, same. It was such a big thing back in the day.
Yeah. And it's like I'm super nostalgic, and I was looking through like my old YouTube favorites, and it's also so sad because so many of these things have been like taken down because of copyright too. That's also a big
Yeah.
thing. So I'm just like, oh man. Maybe that's the reason why MVs aren't huge anymore because,
Copyright, yeah.
copyright.
It's very hard. I
Yeah.
remember I once tried to make a video that was like a top 10 favorite anime, and I gave up on making it because I was like, I can't. YouTube wouldn't let me include anything. All of my clips,
Ugh.
even if they were muted, even if I had no audio playing, they were like, "No, you can't put this on." I was like, come on.
It's awful and dumb.
Copyright is so difficult to navigate.
Yeah, it sucks. It's like I'm actively like, promoting your anime, right? But I
Yeah.
think these Japanese companies don't really get it. And it's also YouTube just like flagging something
Yeah.
immediately, right?
Yeah. Yeah. AMVs are fan cams now. Oh my god,
Oh,
that
you're
made
actually
me.
so right.
I'm gonna not off topic rant for half a second. I was a big K-pop fan. A few years back,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
back when fan cams were becoming a thing. Fan cams are not edits. They're not AMVs. A fan cam is literally a recording of an idol performing. Like it's. So when people started calling things that were not a hand like filmed video of an idol, I was like, this is not a fan cam. Stop calling it that. Like now it's
It's so
inevitable.
funny.
Everyone calls them fan cams now. Like that's not what a fan cam is. I used to get so heated about this.
That's so funny. You're like, that's not what the word means. It's like these days where it's like, that's not what LARP means, guys. Use the right word. We already have a word for this.
So true. Alright, looking at
Oh.
my list of questions, something I was thinking about since we've obviously talked about how Haruhi's not really a cultural phenomenon anymore. How would you feel about a Haruhi fandom resurgence? Like if Haruhi, like if all of the people LARPing Lucky Star suddenly we're like, hey, let's watch this anime. What do you think of that? Would you want that to happen? Would you want maybe the fandom to kind of come back?
Oh man.
Or do you think it could? Do you think it could come back to being very popular?
I think it has the ability. I believe in it. I think someday some like influential YouTuber or like something, some like anime or some like a TikToker is gonna make a big Haruhi fan edit, and I think it could get really big again. and I'd love to see it. I do think that there's a lot of I don't know how to say it. There's like lots of like fan service in Haruhi that
Yeah.
might turn a lot of modern audiences off. I think
Yeah.
yeah.
That's something
I
I think
think
about too. Like, do I want
mm,
the quote unquote like anime larpers to know about Haruhi? That scares me a little bit.
yeah, I do think there would be like a lot of discourse about it.
Yeah.
I think that the fan service in Haruhi is kind of portrayed in a way where it's like almost like tongue in cheek. Like Haruhi herself is like, this is fan service. I'm gonna kidnap Mikuru Asahina because she's cute and she's moe and she's got big boobs and I'm gonna put her in a maid outfit to appeal to people so my club will get popular. And Haruhi's like one of like the first big anime to like make that kind of self-referential humor. I feel like
Yeah.
every anime this day and age does it. It's like it's fine because we're lampshading it, right? So it's fine for us to put this fan service in here and stuff. Um but something about the way Haruhi does it, I'm like, there's something genuine about this. There's something pure. So I'm okay with it. And I would love to see it get a resurgence, but um well, LARPers aren't gonna watch it anyway. They're just gonna, like, see the cute
Yeah,
character and
that
be
is
like,
so
"Wow."
true. They're gonna watch the ending thing. We're gonna watch the video for Haruhi Yukai, and then like that's it. We'll call it a day.
Yeah, they'll call it a day, and then be like, "Wow, I love Haruhi," and then somebody's gonna be in their comments like, actually, did you know that Haruhi Suzumiya, like, the main character wears a bunny girl outfit half the time, and that's bad?" I'm just like, I don't know. It's so, like, such a time capsule of the time
It
that
really is.
I'm just so nostalgic for it. I think if people go into it knowing what it is, I think they can definitely really enjoy it. Um, I will say that it definitely doesn't have I mean, it's beautifully animated, but it doesn't have like the neon bright colors of like Lucky Star on its side.
Yeah.
Do you think like K-On! Is a big LARPer anime, or has like K-On!
Hmm?
Kind of fallen off? I don't see lots of K-On! Edits,
Yeah. I
and I
feel
think it's
like
because they have brown hair.
yeah, I honestly I agree with that. I think people tend to gravitate more towards more colorful anime. Which
Yeah.
I get, but also like it's still good. I
Yeah,
get the
it's still
characters aren't
good.
as wacky looking as other characters, but it doesn't mean the characters themselves aren't very chaotic and interesting. Like Haruhi's
Right?
design might be simple, but she is like one of the most unique anime characters, I think.
Yeah, she's
She's
so
so
iconic with the
different.
ribbons.
Yeah. There's not a lot of characters I could compare to her. She's very much her own entity, which I love. I
Yeah,
love a
she's so
character that's
fun.
so themselves and so unique.
Yeah, she's like, she's like a little tsundere, but she's also so Genki. She's definitely has such a unique personality, and she's so charming. I love her.
Yeah.
I so badly when I was a kid watching this show, I wanted to have Haruhi's confidence. I wanted to have
Yeah.
that just exuberance that naturally draws people to me, like her and her little SOS brigade. So cute. I would love to see it get a resurgence. I do not think that it's ever going to have a season 3 by Kyoto Animation,
Yeah.
but
People will still speculate, be like, you never know, it could happen. But I feel
well,
like
I swear.
at this point it feels unlikely, but I mean, crazier things have happened.
That is so
But
true. They did make that Nichijou spiritual successor. But I feel like sorry, I had to hiccup real quick. Kyoto Animation these days, especially since the big Endless 8 fiasco, they like they very rarely like adapt like actual like properties that already exist. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like KyoAni does those like light novel competitions and stuff, and it's very
Yeah.
rare that you see them actually adapt something that like is already popular. Like I think Kobayashi's Dragon Maid is like the last thing I can think of that was already an entity before they adapted it.
Mm.
Um so that's another thing. I just don't think Kyoto Animation, they started out with the light novel and like the visual novel adaptations, but I just don't think that they'd do it, you know?
Yeah. It is a shame, but also maybe for the best. I think
Yeah.
the risk of maybe it not being as good as the original is what would prevent it from happening. Because, I mean, they already made the
Yeah.
fans mad once. I think disappointing them again is maybe a risk they don't want to take.
That is true. But I do think the people who would be excited, I think it's been long enough now that I think
Yeah.
people would be excited for it. I think they
Yeah, I
would.
think so too. I'd
Yeah,
be
and I'd love to see.
excited.
Yeah. Have you read like the light novels or anything like
I
that?
haven't, but I want to at some point.
They're pretty cute, and like it kind of gets like really interesting after where the anime like leaves
Mhm.
off. They discover that like there's like a different girl out there in the world who used to be like Kyon's or childhood friend,
Mhm.
who has her own little collection of people who think that she's the center of the universe.
Oh,
um
oh my
yeah, so then it
gosh.
becomes like a rival thing where like they're both trying to take down their separate like cute anime girl goddesses. Uh and it's pretty funny. It gets pretty interesting. So I would love to see that sort of stuff like
Yeah.
animated someday, but I don't think it's ever going to happen.
Uh, did the light novel series end or is it ongoing?
Um I believe, when did I stop reading it? I stopped reading it at like light novel number 10.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like The Surprise of Haruhi Suzumiya. Um I remember that one came out very recently, like last year or something like that.
Oh.
Um and before that, I think there was one released in like 2020, but before that, there hadn't been a new novel since like 2011. Um,
Interesting. So there
so
is the possibility for a new anime.
yeah,
It could happen.
maybe. Here's hoping. Um, yeah, I'm looking it up. Yeah, I was right. It was 2020 and then 2024 were these new
Mm.
novel releases. I haven't read either of these two. Um, and this last novel, I mean, it's kind of like a continuation. They kind of did like a almost like a Deathly Hollows part thing where there was like one novel with like the first part of the arc and then another novel with the second part of the arc. And it was like this huge, very intense storyline, kind of like the first book, like The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya.
Mm.
So it kind of felt like a natural ending, but it definitely felt like they could have done more if they wanted to.
Yeah.
So I would be interested to read about what these new novels are about.
Yeah.
But I do have hope because like they've released like a couple of new Haruhi figurines and stuff
Oh
too.
yeah.
So I'm like, maybe it'll come back.
It's always interesting when like they suddenly start making merch of an older, like slightly dead franchise. Like, does this mean we're getting more
Right?
content? I mean, there's been
Does
like
this
some
mean?
Ouran High School Host Club stuff happening recently.
Oh,
Like, does this
really?
mean something? I think there was like a
Oh
pop-up
man.
cafe or something in Japan recently. I was like, okay, but does this mean we're getting new content?
Oh my gosh, that'd be
Anime
amazing.
season 2?
Oron's,
A remake?
yeah.
Anything?
Well, They've gotta remake it. It's
They
been so
have
long.
to.
They gotta. I would be so there for that. I
Yeah,
don't
we
know
need
if the
the Fruits
modern
Basket.
landscape.
We need a
Oh,
Fruits
yeah, they did
Basket
with Fruits
treatment.
Basket.
The Fruits
But I
Basket
do think
anime remake was perfect. We need that with
yeah,
more anime that didn't get a proper ending. We need to get the Fruits Basket
right?
treatment for more series.
Yeah, yeah. I think Ouran High School Host Club would be like a nuclear bomb on the modern anime
It really
landscape,
would.
though.
I'm scared of the possibility of that getting a resurgence. Like,
I
on one
know.
hand, it deserves it, but also I don't know if I could handle what
I
the
don't know
internet
if I can
might
handle
become.
the fandom and also the amount of like Instagram reels and TikToks I'd see
Yeah.
about people being like, you can't watch this. It's got these twin characters in it. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready for that.
The psychic damage I take sometimes when I see like a reel of someone talking about the problematic anime they liked as a kid, and they list out the anime, I'm like, those are just shoujo. Those are just normal shoujo. What do you mean?
Right? JoJo's just kind of like that.
Yeah, like man.
Man, that would be so fun though. Maybe what I have to hope for is a remake rather than
Yeah.
a season 3, right? I think that has a
Yeah, at
higher
this
possibility
point,
of
yeah.
happening.
Making a season 2 of like an anime from like 20 years ago is a bit of a weird choice. I think a remake would make more sense.
Yeah. That would be a lot of fun.
It would be. Something else I've been thinking about, talking about Haruhi, has been like, since obviously it's so influential to modern anime, like it really was like such a big thing in especially like the 2000s. And you talk about Nichijou being like it's kind of a successor, and Lucky Star being so connected to it. Like, are there any other
Yeah.
anime that you think kind of are descendants of Haruhi?
Oh man, that's a good question. That's gonna reveal that I haven't watched that much anime in like 10 years. What's that Bunny Girl Senpai show?
Oh yeah.
The Rascal Does Not Dream.
Yeah, Rascal Doesn't Dream of
I
Bunny
look
Girl
at that.
Senpai.
Yeah. I'm like, that's Haruhi. That's modern
Yeah.
Haruhi, I think.
You know, Haruhi's bunny girl outfit was definitely very iconic.
So iconic. The scene of her in like Live Alive where she's singing it. Oh man. I also feel like for like a couple of years there after Haruhi came out, like almost every big anime got like character songs and stuff like that, right?
So was that like something started with Haruhi? Was that like the first anime to
Oh
do character
man.
songs like that?
I'd want to say so. I don't know if that's right, but I feel like most
Mm.
things start with Haruhi. Like,
Yeah.
I was like curious the other day, and it's like the first Nendoroids weren't Haruhi, but she was like within the first like wave. She's like number 9 out of like
Oh,
all
wow.
like Nendoroids that have
That's
come out.
cool.
I think number 1 is like a Fate Stay Night, but she
that
is
makes
also the
sense.
first Figma. Yeah, it definitely does. But she was like the first Figma and stuff like that. So
Oh
like,
wow.
these like anime figures kind of were sprung up because of her. I wouldn't doubt that character songs were also sprung up. Especially Kyoto Animation, I think, still likes to do it. Like I do remember, the anime Free had character songs. That was also Kyoto
Yeah.
Animation. I don't know if you see it much with like other shows like shonen and stuff too, but I feel like that
Yeah.
particular breed of like moe seinen is like
Yeah.
so yeah so ingrained in that sort of like culture. I can't think of the last time I saw like a Haruhi reference in like an actual like modern anime though. I'm like,
that's such a shame. Like it makes
you've
sense, but
forgotten
also
your
like
roots.
seen something go from being such a huge like Haruhi being like the poster child for otaku, and now like no one talks about her.
Yeah.
So weird.
It's so sad. I do feel like Haruhi was definitely one of the very first light novels to get a major anime adaptation. And now light novels,
Oh yeah,
they're everywhere.
they really are. So
They're
some
so
isekais.
popular. Yeah, isekais are so popular. But I feel like the success of Haruhi made other companies start to look at like older light novels and be like, maybe we can like adapt this. And I think that's like one of the reasons why I think is it Studio Shaft that did Bakemonogatari?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure Monogatari came out in like 2003, which is like contemporary to when the Haruhi light novels came out. But that anime, like I think the only reason why Monogatari was made was because Haruhi was so popular, right?
Yeah.
That showed that these kind of like Dempa, like otaku core light novels had like an audience of people willing to view it. You asked about modern anime, and I was like, oh, you know, Monogatari, right? That came out like 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, that's modern anime. Also thinking about like Dempa now, I feel like that's not really as big a thing anymore. The closest they get to Dempa right now is like needy streamer Overload. Like,
Yeah,
I need to watch. I saw the first episode of the anime. I need to watch the rest of it. That was such an interesting first episode. Probably
yeah,
one
I
of the
haven't
more
watched the anime
creative
yet.
anime I've seen in a while. Honestly, I don't watch a lot of modern anime these days either, to be honest. But I was like, that was the first one that a lot of piqued my interest. I was like, wait, this looks cool. I like the game, and the anime looks very weird, and I like my anime weird. Anime isn't weird enough anymore.
Right? Make anime
They're
weird.
playing it way too safe these days. Like, make it weirder.
Exactly. I haven't seen that anime yet either, but I do think Dempa is like coming back into style because of like needy streamer overdose and stuff like that.
Really do agree with that. Like, that
So
game has really like revived something, for better or for worse.
Right?
Like, it's very unlocked, but you know.
Yeah, no, I get you. So maybe I hope like the thing is about these like Dempa very otaku-y shows is these days I watch something and it's like it feels like you're pandering like too hard to me. There's something like pure about Haruhi where like it is what it is and it's nerdy and it's cringe, but like it's happy with what it is versus like any given like moe slop show that's got like this one, you know, kind of like he's like a grumpy guy surrounded by beautiful women and all the women like fawn over him, and I'm like, I just feel like you're pandering so hard to me. That's like every isekai, right?
Yeah. I think the difference is though, for like these older shows, like they were made to be their own thing. And nowadays, a lot of the shows that are coming out are being made to appeal to people who like those older things, rather than to be its own entity.
You're so right. It's just like this anime these days is just based on anime versus being based on like people and original stories and stuff like that. And it's just like this weird feedback loop of like things start to feel faker and faker and faker because they are being based on fake things, right? And it's sad. I don't know if we'll ever see like something like Haruhi that can like is moe and is probably, if it came out these days, would be considered like moe slop. But like was just able to get so like mimetic and huge. Like, I think another Kyoto Animation one that came out like a couple of years later. Um, there was like Hyoka, and there was like Chunibyo syndrome,
Oh
which also had
yeah.
these very cute girls who were very moe, and they had like very cute guys too, and there was like a romance series, but those things did not get nearly as huge as Haruhi, and I'm not sure if anything else will, you know?
Yeah. The haruhi is very much its own entity. Like you gonna try to replicate it, but it's not gonna be haruhi. So like
Yeah. And nothing
better
will ever
off just
compare.
making your own weird little gremlin creature anime rather than trying to
Yeah,
make another haruhi.
exactly. And I think that's probably going to be the only way that something like that could be made again is if somebody is passionate about something. Haruhi's obviously written by somebody who's passionate about science fiction and who's passionate about weird otaku culture. And because of that, it feels so genuine that
Yeah.
it's just really cute. The fact that, like,
Yeah.
Yuki is always reading these, like, really deep cut, like, Western science fiction books and stuff like that, um, it just proves that these people were just into this thing so genuinely versus just being into anime for anime's sake.
Miyazaki was right. People who make anime nowadays can't even look people in the eye. Yeah. It's interesting. I'm trying to remember where I saw this quote or who said it or what the context was exactly. I remember seeing something about how back in the day, um, people's influences was like literature and film. And like, I'll take drawing from so many inspirations, but nowadays,
Mhm.
inspiration for anime is anime. Inspiration for video games is video games. And that's kind of like
Yeah.
making the stories not reach their full potential. And there's lots
Yeah.
of good ideas, but the execution isn't always as good as it was in the past. Because the influences aren't like what they once were.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and that's probably a reason why I personally don't watch much modern anime, right?
Yeah.
It lacks that just bite.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way. I mean, one of the reasons why I made this podcast, because I'm really into like the 90s and 2000s um Japanese pop culture. I love older anime and older games, and I want
Yeah.
to just yap about it with people and like kind of draw more
Yeah.
attention to some of these older series that maybe people aren't as into anymore or don't know as much about. So I hope
Yeah.
that people listening who maybe haven't seen Haruhi, maybe this will inspire you to go check it out for the first time.
Yeah, I hope so. And, I think it's that, like, 20-year nostalgia rule, right? Like, 20 years
Yeah.
ago, 2006, people are nostalgic for this sort of stuff, and I think, like, younger fans too are just, like,
Mm-hmm.
nostalgic for this era that they didn't necessarily live through, but they're
Yeah.
very hungry for.
That's so true. Like I think especially nowadays with like AI and like
Oh, yeah.
affecting the way media is created and the way things are being perceived, like there's kind of just this desire to look back to a different time when art was made with more love.
Yeah, exactly. People crave genuine things. You can feel when something has passion poured into it.
Yeah, you really can. Yeah, so are there any other topics regarding Haruhis that we haven't touched on or that you wanted to elaborate a little bit more on before we start wrapping up?
Um, let's see. I do have my list of things, and I think we
Yeah.
covered most of them.
Yeah.
Um, I do have like one
Mhm.
little anecdote,
Ooh,
and
I would
that's
love to hear it.
yeah, how I got into Haruhi.
Yes.
Um, and that's like way back in the day. I'm still a huge fan of it, but I was very into the Phoenix Wright video games.
Yeah.
And yeah, and there was this like fan forum where people there was a big thread of people referencing or documenting references to Phoenix Wright and other franchises.
Mhm.
And one of those posts was about the melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya because there's that episode where it's like a murder mystery.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, that's such a fun episode.
yeah, yeah, remote island syndrome, and
Yeah.
there's an entire like 10-minute little like trial scene where Haruhi is making Phoenix Wright poses.
Oh my gosh.
um, like
Yeah.
literally, yeah, like verbatim, and like Itsuki's making Edgeworth poses, Mikuru's making like Maya poses, and I remember being like, oh my gosh, I love Phoenix Wright. I'm gonna watch this anime that is referencing Phoenix Wright. Um, and that's how I got into it. And like, it's so funny that like franchises that came out from like 2002 to like 2006 are like so referential. Like there's like Phoenix Wright references and like Lucky Star and stuff too, because it was just such a massive
Yeah.
thing, and you can almost tell this like respect that all of these different nerdy things have for each other, and it's just really cute. I feel like every single franchise that came out in like that time period always has a reference to something contemporary, and it's just really cute. It just feels like these people making it have a great love for their like artistic peers.
Yeah, I love that. I love when, like, shows and games get to, like, reference each other in very, like, loving, really,
Yeah.
like, just, like, a fun little nod to fans of those franchises. Be like, look at this thing that you like,
Yeah.
that we also like. It's
It's
so
so
cute.
cute.
Yes.
Yeah. Man, is there anything else? There's also like a random anecdote I want to say that now I don't know if it's confirmed, but there was that song that went so viral like 2 years ago, the Magical Cure Love Shot, the Hatsune
Oh,
Miku song.
yeah. I love that song.
Yeah. And you watch the music video for that, and that's very obviously based off of like this era of animation, right? This like
Yeah.
heisei retro like style. It's
Yes.
all based off of, yeah,
Yes.
she's super moe. And she does her Miku Miku beam,
Mm-hmm.
and the pose that she does is the Mikuru beam from
It
Haruhi
is.
Suzumiya.
It is.
And yeah, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is 100% totally, I think, a Haruhi
What
reference,
has
and
to
all
be?
these people don't know.
They don't even know about the Mikuru beam.
Yeah, that exact pose that she does over the eyes is 100% Mikuru
It
beam, and
is.
the
It is
fact,
absolutely.
yeah, man, like they don't
So
know, they
that's
don't
like
know
the
about Mikuru
best
beam.
episode. I need to rewatch that
It
episode in
is.
particular. I loved that whole, like, the actual, like, from the first anime, the actual
Yeah,
movie, but also the making of. I thought that was such a fun arc.
it is so fun. I think like everybody should watch Haruhi, and everybody should watch
Yes.
like the episode 00, and if they don't like it, they're not gonna like the rest of the show.
Yeah, honestly, valid, but also, like, if you don't like it, what do you mean you don't like it? It's
Yeah,
so
what do
good.
you
It's so
mean?
peak.
It's so peak, it's so charming. It just feels like friends making a movie, and it's just so cute.
I remember it's because I watched it obviously in the chronological order on Crunchyroll, so I saw the movie. I think that was chronologically placed like after that arc. So you saw the making of, and then you saw the
Mhm.
movie. But man, like I had the full context for it, but the idea of that being like the first episode to air is so funny to me.
Yeah. I just like envision people like staying up late because anime airs during the
Yeah,
witching
yeah.
hour, staying up late watching this random thing, and you're like, what is this? It's so good. It's so
It's so
iconic.
good. Oh, yeah. The final message we are gonna leave you guys on is that you have to watch Haruhi Suzumiya. Everyone must
You
watch it.
gotta.
Everyone must become a part of the Haruhiism religion. We must all kneel before our Lord and Savior, Haruhi Suzumiya.
Yeah. Have to recognize that Haruhi is the one true god, and you have to worship her.
Yes.
Spread Haruhiism far and wide.
Eva, oh my gosh, thank you so much for agreeing to be on the podcast. It was awesome being able to yap with you today.
Thank you for having me. This was so much fun.
Is there anything you would like to plug or promote before I let you go?
Well, again, I am Rainbow or Bow, spelled R41N83 I am on Twitch and Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. Every Monday and Wednesday, I release a video that's essentially going over like old memes and stuff like that from the same time period. So of course, if you like Haruhi or if you just like nostalgic anime in general, maybe you can like learn something new from that. And I also stream on Twitch in my off days, and I'm currently making my way through Kimi to Kanojo to Kanojo no Koi, or You and Me and Her, which is a classic visual novel. So yeah, you could check me out there.
Yuppie, well, thank you so much for joining me today. Hope to talk to you again soon.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Well, yeah, that is where we are going to start wrapping up for today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with Bo and I and yapping about Haruhi. Oh my gosh. Now I really want to rewatch Haruhi. I was originally like, maybe I should rewatch it ahead of today's podcast, but I did not have time to. But I definitely want to rewatch Haruhi and Lucky Star. What's an anime on my list now of things I need to watch or rewatch? But yeah, thank you guys for joining us. My next stream, might be tomorrow. I know I announced that I'm not gonna do a formal schedule this week because my brain has been a lot. I've been all over the place. And I need a little bit of a brain break. I need to not have such a rigid schedule for a little bit, especially since I have a bunch of charity streams and stuff happening soon. So I just want to kind of zone out, not be stressing about a schedule. I might go live tomorrow though, because tomorrow's Sunday, which is my usual day for playing Danganronpa 2 with Miss. So we'll probably do Danganronpa tomorrow. I'll let you guys know if anything changes, but probably Danganronpa 2 tomorrow. But until then, if you haven't already, you're watching me on YouTube, make sure you are subscribed. If you're watching me on Twitch, make sure you are following, and you can also subscribe if you want to, only if you want to. Let's go ahead and see who we can rate. I'm pretty sure Vess is live. Vess is playing Deltarune. They're on chapter 3 right now. Let's freaking go. I need to figure out what I need to figure out if I can get my save files from my laptop onto my PC. Because I don't have the time to do a full replay like what Vess is doing, but I need to get ready for freaking chapter 5. I'm scared, guys. I'm so scared. Chapter 5 is coming out in like less than 2 weeks. But let's not stress about that right now. Let's go ahead. Everyone watching on Twitch, please hop into the raid. It'll get you channel points. Everyone off into the raid. And yeah, I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day or night, wherever you are. And I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.